Welcome to Dr. Amazon Podcast, the emergency support channel for FBA private label sellers. We invite top Amazon experts to share the most efficient tips and tricks for your businesses. We are trying to deliver only accurate, credible, and relevant information. My name is Vitaly Fizhniak and I am the CGO of Profit Whales. And let's get started. There is no need to say that social media is a powerful tool to grow your e-commerce business and drive more sales. But I observe the tendency that the brands that sell on Amazon depend too much on internal mechanism to generate sales and underestimate the power of social media. Today we have a gorgeous guest, Cassandra Craven, as a social media expert. She's the social media and content manager from Helium10 Amazon software. Cassandra, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Of course. Thank you so much for joining us today. Cassandra, could you please briefly introduce yourself?
Of course. I am Cassandra Craven. I am the social media content manager for Helium10. I have experience in film, television, advertising, all in social media, over 10 years of experience, learning the ins and outs, and I love to bring it to Amazon sellers so they can do out-of-the-box ideas for their brands and products.
Great, that is amazing. So I guess the first question will be absolutely like on the page, and why is social media important for e-commerce business, particularly for the Amazon sellers?
When I first came into this business, I noticed a lot of Amazon sellers were more about pushing out their product and not really having a public facing persona to it, if you will. Not really branding themselves. It was more about the product, their listing, things like that, more back end strategies and tactics. And as I started to learn more and get to know the sellers more often, I realized there's a huge opportunity that people weren't capitalizing on. There are so many opportunities with influencer marketing, social media opportunities, blog content, content creators that seem to be an untapped resource for many Amazon sellers. So really, they bring the value to their product. They're checking all the boxes, they've launched their product, they're ready to go. And then there's this whole side of it missing oftentimes with the brand persona. There's no Instagram setup. They maybe don't have a Facebook page, nothing on Twitter or TikTok, things like that. When really there's a ton of influencers out there who would be happy to cross promote or collaborate to get awareness to their brands, whether they're micro influencers or macro influencers. There's just so many opportunities. So it's really about gaining awareness for your product and your brand and tapping into those new audiences through resources you may have never thought of before.
So here's like the main point, that you're focusing not only on the sales like right now, you're focusing on brand awareness too. It's like one of the main points.
Exactly. And I think there's always that metaphor of it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And I think the same can be true for social media. Maybe you're not going to see the results immediately. You start an Instagram page, you post a couple times, and sure, that's probably not going to generate the sales that you want or the awareness you want. But over time, as you work at it and develop an audience and start connecting with, like I said, influencers, content creators, new audiences outside of the space, or who may not have even discovered your product unless it was through, let's say, Instagram or Twitter, TikTok, things like that. Now you're garnering sales for the future. So it's that maybe you're not going to get the immediate satisfaction, but in the long term, the awareness and the growth of your social media content can actually maximize your sales in the future.
Got it. So I guess it will be like the main quote, that the working with the social media or like with the Amazon business, it's a long run. it's not a
100%.
sprint.
100%, because there's so much that goes into it. People can have their own social media profiles, and that's so different from running a brand social media profile. And you really have to see, what is your audience connecting with? What do they want to see? What do they resonate with on a personal level, a professional level? Why do they want your product in their lives? And so once you can kind of play around, do a little A/B testing, things like that with your content, whether that's photos or videos, boomerangs, things like that, influencer marketing, as I mentioned. Then you can kind of see, okay, how should I navigate this and what works best for my product and my audience? And then how do you expand that and go above and beyond? So that's not going to be an overnight success. I'm sure if anyone who's ever started their first Instagram page or Twitter, you didn't go from 0 to 1 million overnight unless you're probably Kim Kardashian. So you have to kind of work at it. You have to see what is the content that best resonates with audiences so that you can get the long-term results that you want.
Yeah, clear enough. So here we have the main point that the social media should be exactly like one of the tools that you implement your marketing strategy, because you have the marketing strategy, or you should have marketing strategies inside the Amazon, and you should implement all these ideas inside your Instagram. So it's some kind, or any other social media.
Correct.
So you have a chance to perform a like A/B test, to choose different photos, to create a short videos, and with the help of it, you just build an audience. You just find the right or new available like pain points or something like that, and you have a chance to improve your products or your position inside the market.
Exactly. Like you said, you definitely should have a marketing plan in place. I recommend doing a content calendar, kind of seeing what's feasible for you. I know Amazon sellers are very busy people, and maybe posting every day on social media is not ideal. I know it's hard for me to even post on my own, and I'm a social media manager. So that I understand. So really planning out that content, working with a VA, working with a photographer, getting that stock imagery and front loading it for the future so that you're not worrying about it each and every day. And then what you can do is play around with the content. One great thing about social media is nothing is set in stone. If something doesn't work out, get rid of it, archive it, change it. You don't have to commit to something that's not working. That makes no sense. And really, if you're a good business owner, you wouldn't do that anyway. So there's so many variables and opportunities for you to really find your niche and see what will, eventually garner your sales, raise your awareness, raise your brand awareness, and connect with new audiences and individuals. So hopefully it flourishes your product in the future.
So we have a really big playground just to test different hypotheses that you have, or implement different like photos or call to action things, just to see how it will work. And after that, you could like implement something inside your Amazon.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like something I always think of too is I use examples of like a kitchen product. So, and let's just zero in on Instagram for, matter of fact examples. So, if you have a kitchen product, you have your Instagram, really getting that lifestyle imagery and seeing how your kitchen product not only fits into the needs of your audience and your customers, but how does it fit into their lifestyle? How does your kitchen product fit into their family dinners, their holiday festivities, their baking with their kids or cooking with their, spouse or significant other? You really kind of have to tap into that psychology. And I think once you kind of fit your product into their lifestyle, that's how you can also cross promote it within your Amazon listing, within your Amazon awareness, whether you have an email list, blog content, things like that. I think it goes above and beyond just marketing a product. Here's this, use it, buy it, goodbye. You're really part of someone's lifestyle and why they need this in their life. And I think that's how you can convey that through social media.
Whoa, I really like this quote. In the case of that, you could use also these feedbacks from the people, like the photos and the video, like your content. For example, you could just ask these people to put this information not only inside their Instagram or Facebook account, but do it also inside your Amazon. And it will be like a free reviews for you. Or you
Of
could
course.
just get their photos and put inside your listing if they will agree.
Definitely. I see all the time that people are saying, oh, thanks to this product, XYZ, I was able to take, my baking to the next level, or my kids love this product, and our family dinners have never been the same thanks to, your product. And really what you can do, user generated content, UGC, is one of my favorite aspects of social media. I love raw, real, genuine authenticity. That is the best you can do. You can't make this up. You can't pay for it. It really has to come from real customers, real stories, real audiences. So if there is a baking product, a kitchen product, they're making pasta, cheese graters, whatever you may have, if you can get someone to snap a quick pic while they're having, a Tacos Tuesday or a party or something like that, that is wonderful content for you to use on your Instagram platform. And something that Facebook also promotes a lot, they call it the thumb stopper, what's going to stop you from scrolling in your feeds. And oftentimes, again, it's a psychological thing. If people see these raw, real photos, they often they get in their minds that it's a friend, it's a colleague, it's someone they know personally, and it takes away that brand aspect. So it's not this kind of person behind the Instagram or this unknown person. There's a face to it. They know it's a real person. They know a real person used this product, and it adds validity to your product, which again will enhance awareness and hopefully sales in the future.
Well, fair enough for me. So could we tell that our main idea is to become a product of lifestyle for these people? I mean that if people will use this product and make a pictures, and they will have a chance to share like a feedback inside the social media, it will be one of the main greatest point that we would like to reach as the Amazon sellers.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And again, I use kitchen products as an example, but really, whether you're selling yoga mats or shapewear, brushes, anything, if this product is valuable to your customer's lifestyle, I mean, how many times have you bought something and you're like, oh man, if I didn't have this, where would I be? And it could be the smallest thing, whether it's a light socket cover or something like that. If you can get people to say, man, where would I be without your product? And then show it off on social media, you've struck gold. That's my opinion. You've struck gold. It's raw. It's real. You can't pay people for that. I'm a big advocate of influencer marketing. I'm a big advocate of content creators, especially since that's kind of where things are going with TikTok and Reels, things like that. But user-generated content in any form will always be standard number one, definitely.
Cool. I can relate on it. If we were speaking in the case of different platforms that we have, what is the, I don't know, like the most important platform that we have, or what platform do you recommend to use right now?
So I love Instagram, personally and professionally, for a couple reasons though. You have a lot of opportunities to create content, and different types of content. So you have your in feed, so that can be your mainstay, your brand awareness. And then if you have anything like user generated content, can be a little off brand sometimes, you can put it in your Instagram story and it goes away within 24 hours. Also, the discoverability on Instagram, I think, is so high. There is such a low barrier to entry, as opposed to something with Facebook. You have to log in, they have to find you, like, follow. A lot of time, money, paid ads go into that. Instagram is a really great platform if you want to get organically discovered. So if you have great content, there's a higher chance that people will find you, find your product, find your brand. So that's why I love Instagram. I also think Twitter is a great community. I've heard mixed things from sellers as well, though. But if you want to tap into more marketing strategy or get into the mix of conversation surrounding your product, I would say Twitter is your go-to source. And while this isn't necessarily, a social media platform, because I think of it more as video content, more part of your branding in general, YouTube, always go to YouTube for tutorials. If you can get people to do testimonials, things like that, interviews about your product and how they've helped, enhance their life and their day-to-day activities, that's always going to be amazing content. And if you do pick 1, 2, 3, or 4 of these channels to promote on, always look into how you can use one piece of content across all channels. Save yourself time. You don't need to be, doing hundreds of content streams for each platform. That's crazy. You're just going to waste so much time. But if you have one great piece of content, if you have one great YouTube video, chop that up, put it on IGTV, put it on Instagram in your feed, on your story, give a little teaser, link back to it. Definitely tweet about it, link back to it on Twitter. Just really see how there's multiple venues that you can utilize your content so that you're getting the maximum potential out of it.
I like it. It's really cool in the case of how to work with the different platforms, how to use one piece of content that you have and try to direct it for a different audience that you will have.
Exactly. Because you never know. You never know who's going to discover it. Or, especially now, quarantine 2020 has been a crazy year. People are on social media scrolling around. I'm discovering so many random products that I've never even thought of or heard of, but that's because you're just kind of scrolling around and there's more opportunity to get discovered.
Yeah, exactly. And if we will just dive deeper into some mistakes, maybe you will help us and we will understand how to avoid them.
I would say the number one mistake people make is overproducing their content. So we had talked about the thumb stopper from Facebook. Too highly produced, I think people will start to tune out your content. And you want to make sure that you're varying your content as well. While I believe that recurring content is very beneficial so that people can come back to you and they look for, oh, when's the new podcast coming out? When's your latest blog? Oh, you have a new product, things like that. Making sure that each piece of content is cohesive, but also unique is the perfect balance and the key. Because once people start seeing the same type of content in their feed over and over again, they're going to start to tune you out. You don't want that. They're going to say, oh, I think I saw that last week. I don't care, and really you want to make sure you're like, no, this is new. You should check it out. So keeping those pieces of content unique, trying different pieces of content, don't get stuck on all stock imagery. Don't get stuck on all these graphics, mix it up a bit, see where people resonate, see what topics work. I would also say playing around with geotags. So if we're talking Instagram specifically, play around with your geotags. Don't just go where your product or your brand is based. Look at where your audiences are, look at who's buying your product, and start geotagging the top so that people in those regions can discover you.
Amazing. In a case of like the Instagram, one of the most important points how to get started to create a content is the influencers that just could help us to find the right audience in the right way and to promote our products faster.
Oh, definitely. So what I would do, how I would start, there's a couple approaches. If you're, more of a grassroots approach right now, start looking through hashtags that are relevant to your brand or people that you want to promote your brand. So if you're in a fashion line, start looking for hashtag fashion blogger, hashtag fashion influencer, hashtag fashion, start looking for who the people are and who do you think would resonate and fit with your product. Then you can reach out to them directly through a DM. A lot of times people will have messages and say, would you like to collaborate? Or I'm interested in you. I'd love to work with you more. Send me a DM. Let's talk further. So really you want to see who you can resonate with. Again, budgets will vary depending on how much the influencer has in terms of followership, what their reach is. If you're more advanced, there are softwares and programs and things like that that you can find large scale influencers through, but they're going to cost money. So it really depends on what your budgets are. I'm always a big advocate of grassroots because that's another reason why. Well, first of all, it's much more content efficient or cost efficient. But if you have a great Instagram feed, that's why I always promote that. Get that going first so people know what they're working with. They want to know the face behind the brand. They want to know what you're all about. Who's this person messaging me that wants to work with me? They don't, if you've got the silhouette face of the profile image, get that off there. Get the awareness going. Make sure your brand's on there or your own face, however you want to promote yourself, because people want to know who they're connecting with. So definitely the cool factor comes in get your own Instagram together, make sure people know what they're all about, and then start reaching out to the influencers.
Fair enough. In the case of the business, I knew that if you start working with the Instagram business page and you have only like logos, your products, no lifestyle, no personal connect, it's not so good. It's really good to combine it. When you, for example, create a story about your business, how do you start working with it? What you do inside your Amazon? How do you work with your audience? Stuff like that. Like at your lifestyle, and maybe it will be much more better. Is it correct, like opinion?
100% correct. And if you look at huge brands, we're talking, even go outside, Google, Facebook, all these brands take you into the insight, into it's a sneak peek into their world. And that resonates with people. How many times have you seen, oh, puppy in the office today? Or, now you see a lot of working from home photos, things like that, Zoom calls. Really letting people into your day-to-day life is how they're going to connect with you, because you are a brand. There's many faces there, and you want to introduce them, let them know what's going on. I think if you're planning something big, that could be a fun Instagram story, or you could go live and say, hey guys, I've got a lot of special deals coming up. Q4's coming up, got all these products ready for you. Your holidays are going to go to the next level if you've got these, just resonate with people. Show them how that they can incorporate your product, your brand, and how you're doing it for them. They want to see those sneak peeks, that lifestyle imagery, the day-to-day. Take them on a journey of how their product became a reality to them in their home.
Unbelievable. Cassandra, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing all this information. Could you please tell our audience maybe what is the right point to find you, to address maybe some questions if they will have them?
Of course. So you can always find me at Helium10 Software on Instagram. I'm behind the Instagram. Slide into our DMs anytime. But if you want to connect with me personally, you can find me on Instagram at Cassandra_Craven. Definitely love to hear from you. Ask me any questions. I'm always available.
I was really excited to have you today and looking forward to speak soon.
Yes,
Thank
definitely.
You so much.
I will come back anytime. You're amazing.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Mwah.
And that is all for today's Dr. Amazon episode. Don't miss our future arrivals with new hot topics. Press the like, leave us a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. We will come back to you shortly.